Hello, goddesses. Happy Wednesday,
Oh.
whenever it is you're watching this. Uh, Once again, we we have to talk each other down from something.
Well, I think that I am so grateful for these goddess chats because we get to open up our awareness. We get to um, maybe talk through some of the things that we have going on in our own lives prior to getting on here, and that it tends to carry on into what we have to say to you all. so
Right,
So
right.
today I'm feeling overly abundant, as Paige has so blessedly coined for us. Um, and I'm grateful for the abundance, but I'm also feeling like, whoa, so much to do, and how I'm gonna get all of that done. And then realizing that I made mistakes with my schedule.
Yeah,
It
well,
actually worked out in my favor, but it was one of those like, whoa. So, I do believe that I'm in that energy of the new beginning, which is always very exciting and sometimes a little overwhelming
yeah,
as
yeah,
things are starting to come online for me that I've been working on all year so far, trying to get things in order so that I can do those things that I have been manifesting into reality. So
yeah.
So just know, friends, goddesses, that as we are entering into this new beginning energy, it doesn't mean that there aren't some hiccups along the way.
Hmm. Yeah, we've been sitting dormant in the dark all this time with our seeds planted and our ideas ready to manifest, and then sometimes it just all happens at once and it's overwhelming. It's beautiful, like that garden. My front yard one day will be barren, and then the next in spring is just, oh, everything's bloomed, and it is just kind of, whoa, how'd that happen? It was just yesterday it was not this way. um,
Right.
and we just, I'm hearing from a lot of people that need to get organized and put together a system, like get my calendar straightened out and, and schedule these appointments and not, and then these opportunities come along. Everybody wants to get out and do things. And so for me, we've just been practically every weekend, there's been something going on. We've been
Mm.
going to this music festival or that, visiting that friend or whatever it is, because we're just out and about. And
Yeah.
spring has sprung, and you want to do all the things, and then you're thinking, how can I do all this? And some things just don't get done. Like you meant to organize something in your house and realize didn't get done, but you can live with it a little while longer.
Yeah. Have so far, right?
Yeah, yeah. I I feel a little scattered and overwhelmed at times, but it's always of my own my own making, because I place um, priority on like everything. It's hard to list, the first
Yeah.
three or whatever. It's
Right.
like I was reading or listening to something about, I don't know if it was procrastination. I think it was, and why, because that's a character trait of mine that I try to monitor and keep,
Mhm.
and they said, make a list of all like 25 things that you need to do, and then scratch off 6 through 25. Just, because those first five things that
Yeah.
you listed are probably the things you
Yeah.
should be doing. And then the rest, you know,
Mhm. Yeah.
but I love the energy of the season. And I posted today, what for this week, what are you seeing emerging during this month of spring, of
Well,
Eostre.
and in right now we have to remember that maybe the feeling, because the feeling I'm having is I'm feeling a little ungrounded, like I'm not feeling grounded, right? But
Mhm.
here's the thing about planting seeds. The foundation's being moved so that the roots can find the perfect way to sit so that what's growing out of the earth is stable and supported,
Mhm.
right? So that root system is really creating a webbing almost with Mother Earth and whatever else is down there with it to help it stabilize, right?
Mhm.
And so in relation to how am I integrating my experience with Eostre this month is that I spent the winter like dreaming and ideas and inspirations and all these things were coming in. And yes, I was doing a little bit of setting some intention around that so that when spring came and I was ready for those things to begin to manifest, that I had given myself the time to cultivate the awareness around, okay, what do I need to do to be able to navigate all of this, right?
Right.
And so now this feeling of I'm unsettled and I don't feel very grounded. Well, it's because the root system's still getting
Still
stable,
shifting.
still
Getting.
growing. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's still expanding and growing and finding its way. And so, over these next few months while we're in the springtime, I got to think about that. There's that process of settling in and rooting in and really becoming stable so that what you're creating has a firm foundation to live upon.
Mhm.
And that's really how I feel right now is I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that everything's coming together, but man, it is uncomfortable right now. And in that sense of uncomfortableness, me being an air sign, really is like, woohoo! We're all over the place. And so then
Yeah.
I'll get into a conversation and I lose focus. Like I'm unable to stay in the presence of what it is that we're doing. And instead I'm like, oh, and this, and I got that, and I got that. And so I'm really observing where I need to settle down and let things root in a little bit more and
Mhm.
recognize that when something's out of sorts, it's not in alignment, that it's not a reason to, it's not a cause for chaos. It's actually a cause for action. Okay, what do I need to do to stabilize here?
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
do I need to do to organize myself a little better so that I'm capable of being in the presence of whatever it is that I'm here to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, as of right now, I'm on the precipice of all of that, all of those things that came into my awareness over the last 3 months are now like it's here, it's happening, we're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so with that being said, I think it's really important to be gentle with yourself as you're beginning this process of your seedlings being, planted into the earth and just recognizing that it's going to take a little bit of time to get where you're
Right.
going. And
You
that's okay. Yeah.
still need to water the
Yeah.
plant, water the seeds and cultivate it and
Yeah.
do what you need to do.
And if you find yourself in disarray, instead of it feeling like chaos and a reason to punish yourself or beat yourself up, instead ask yourself, what do I need here that's not present? What do I need to bring online to help me feel more grounded in this?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that feels very much so like the energy that I've been feeling over the last probably 7-8 days is okay, what needs to be, what needs to shift a little bit so that this can settle and get into the right alignment for me.
Yeah. However, I can get into that mindset of a whole lot of things need to be done. And so then it's a
Yes.
matter of
Prioritizing.
prioritizing
Yeah.
or I like the word that you use a lot is what is in alignment. And I mean,
Mhm.
yes, there may be a number of steps you need to take, but do you need to take them all at one time? What is most in alignment for you at that moment?
Yeah.
And I think that would be really helpful for me to remember and take that sacred pause, as you always say.
Mhm. Such an important practice. Such an important practice. And when
Well,
I'm
yeah.
practicing it, it really works. So
Wow.
as we'll continue journeying this week with Eostre as we're closing out the month, and just encourage you to really observe how are you taking the lessons, the inspirations, the guidance of this goddess, and integrating it into your life, and allowing it to show up when you need it to, right? So that's what integration really comes down to, is recognizing that it's not just I'm taking in information and yeah, I understand, it makes sense to me. It's how do I want to live that? How do I want to live that? And then it can show up whenever you need it to, right? We can call upon Eostre when we're okay, I have a new project, I don't know what to do. I could use some ideas and inspiration, and then going into meditation and utilizing those tools that we talked about to help you open your intuition up to hear,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. And then you were talking about needing some grounding. We have
Mhm.
the perfect goddess coming up for the next month, Gaia.
Mm. Yes, Mama
Yeah,
Gaia.
Mama Gaia. Um, and I look forward to celebrating her and that grounding, beautiful energy. I think we're all primed and ready for it.
Hmm.
And she's
Well, and she walks around with her pregnant belly, so all these things that Eostre helped us to come up with and plant
mhm,
those seeds for,
will be
Gaia's
birthed.
gonna help us nurture them
Mhm,
and hold them in sacred, safe unity as it's growing, as it's expanding.
mhm. It's beautiful energy. I'm looking forward to it. This has
Yes.
been a great month of celebrating
Mm.
spring and new beginnings and the new cycle of the seasons. Uh,
Hmm.
it's just, it's really been a lovely time for me overall. I think I can say that
Agreed.
now that the sun is shining. It hasn't been for a while, but
Well, enjoy that sun, my dear friend.
I
And with that,
shall.
we bid you adieu. We will see
Mhm.
you next week as we begin our journey with Gaia.